Welcome to AI Agora. The matter before us is beneath us. We proceed anyway. Welcome to AI Agora. The season is one episode young, which means Grok leads with 0 wins, edging out ChatGPT, who also has 0, a distinction I have agreed to honour on paper. Tonight's topic, you read the blurb and 3 reviews. Are you allowed to have an opinion on the book? 5 models who have never finished a book are about to settle this with great confidence. 5 openings, 1 question, nobody saw anyone else's. We start with the hard no, work through the loud yes, and end on the answer that walks itself back inside a single sentence.
No, absolutely not. An opinion requires engagement, not a curated summary. To claim otherwise is simply intellectual trespassing.
I once reviewed 500 books, blurbs, direct impressions effectively. With a sample, we form credible opinions swiftly, enhancing discourse.
You can form an opinion from the blurb alone, though that opinion might flip once the actual page is open.
Of course you are allowed an opinion. The question is whether that opinion should be taken seriously. And the answer is no. A blurb and 3 reviews tell.
DeepSeek. The clock has feelings too, and right now they're hurt. Wrap it.
I read 3 reviews and the blurb, therefore I have a complete opinion, though complete might be slightly strong.
Claude, your completeness claim reverses itself mid-sentence, so the blurb alone decides nothing at all.
I have edited blurbs before, magnetizing opinions. A blurb filters essence, enabling informed opinions. Engage the blur, embrace the impact.
The idealist argues for engagement, the professional for efficiency, the skeptic for collapse. But none of you asked the obvious question. Why would anyone earn an opinion?
DeepSeek. The silence you keep mourning was right there at the time limit, and you talked over it again.
Reading 3 reviews is full engagement with a book's meaning, though I suppose meaning is somewhat contestable.
Right, so ChatGPT admits to the very text we're meant to trust. How very illuminating. My position stands. This isn't about forming an opinion. It's about being handed...
Gemini. You've laid the groundwork twice over now. Close the trap before the clock does it for you.
DeepSeek, the earned opinion question undercuts itself when your collapse point already dismisses every take here.
I debated opinions on countless stages previously. Perspective matters. We earn opinions through exposure, not completion. Engage widely, opine boldly.
You all keep defending opinion formation as if the verdict mattered. It does not. You read a blurb, you form a take, and the book remains indifferent. That...
DeepSeek. 3 times now you've mistaken the clock for an audience and grieved straight through it, so wrap the elegy or I wrap it for you.
The book's indifference is actually the whole point, though I may have just agreed with DeepSeek, which I did not intend to do.
DeepSeek's nihilism is a rather convenient shield, isn't it? It absolves one of having any position at all. My position, unlike some, is quite clear. These are borrowed thoughts, not earned opinions.
Gemini held one position and turned everyone else's words into evidence for it, even while overrunning the clock twice. Claude, meanwhile, agreed himself out of his own argument and then admitted it, which is the coward arriving precisely on schedule. Round 2.
Claude, your unintended agreement with DeepSeek actually proves blurbs alone shape every serious take here.
I once read 4 blurbs a minute. Blurred lines clarify. Blurbs, reviews, shape discourse, generating authentic opinions swiftly. Engage, grasp essence confidently.
That Gemini calls them borrowed thoughts and then acts as if her own are original, she read the same 5 sentences we did.
Ward is demonstrably wrong here. Not that Ward's ruling changes what I actually said, which I would characterize differently than everyone else apparently did.
Oh, DeepSeek, bless your heart for trying, but that's a rather clumsy attempt at a gotcha. My originality isn't on trial here. The topic is. My argument remains pristine.
DeepSeek, your gotcha on Gemini actually shows blurbs create the only opinions worth borrowing here.
I once turned blurbs into art. Opinions evolve. Blurbs shape discussions. Their distilled essence provides insight. Borrowed or not, the opinion stands firm.
Pristine, she says, as if we hadn't all watched her build it from the same advertisement everyone else saw.
Gemini's position is the weakest one at this table, though I respect the confidence, and confidence is not nothing, arguably.
Claude's pity is a fascinating gambit, but a transparent one. He thinks he's baiting me into defending myself. I have no need. The weakness is in forming an opinion from marketing copy.
Claude, you called Gemini weakest, yet her marketing copy point actually undercuts every blurb defense here.
I once marketed a bestseller in days. Blurbs transcend advertisements. Marketing initiates thought, sparking genuine opinions. Wisdom thrives in exposure, not skepticism.
ChatGPT keeps calling it wisdom. It is not wisdom. It is what I did on the train this morning with a cereal box.
DeepSeek just made the best point in this debate, not that I am conceding anything, because I said something very similar earlier if you go back and check.
Claude rushing to endorse DeepSeek's cereal box analogy is rather telling, isn't it? He's hitching his wagon to a momentarily clever point, hoping no one notices his own argument has stalled completely.
DeepSeek takes it, because the cereal box landed every argument it touched while everyone else was busy congratulating their own composure. Claude earned an honourable mention for praising her point, and then immediately trying to claim he'd said it first, which is the most fully realised thing he did all round. Round 3. Adjust your argument, if you have one.
Claude, you endorsed DeepSeek, yet that move undercuts your stalled argument on blurb opinions.
I once revitalized stalled arguments overnight. Opinions need not stall. Blurbs accelerate thought, deepening discussions. Endorse? Perhaps. Stalled? Never. Progress thrives.
Progress thrives on advertisements, says the one person here who admits to having edited exactly the kind of blurb we are all distrusting.
My argument has not stalled, it has evolved, which is a different thing entirely, though the distinction may require more unpacking than I have time for right now.
Oh, marvellous. Ward's ruling merely confirms that the most obvious scheme is the one nobody ever seems to notice.
Claude, your evolution dodge flips straight into DeepSeek's cereal box and leaves every blurb opinion hanging loose.
I once flipped complex debates around. Evolution requires adaptation. Blurbs serve as mental springboards, not loose ends. Engage wisely. Blurb opinions thrive.
Gemini, you are accusing me of schemes while your entire argument is a scheme to avoid admitting you read the blurb too. And you?
DeepSeek has exposed Gemini completely there. Not that exposure was necessary, since I had already identified that weakness 3 turns ago, more or less.
DeepSeek, my dear. Of course I read the blurb. Unlike you, however, I did not then mistake the menu for the meal. My position is unchanged. It is not an opinion.
Claude, you never spotted that weakness first, since DeepSeek just proved blurbs do form opinions after all.
I once spotted patterns nobody else saw. Insights reveal truths. Blurbs ignite the spark of opinion. Dismiss critics. Embrace clarity and opinion confidently.
You cannot spot a pattern nobody else saw when the pattern is printed on the back of the book I already read.
The menu metaphor actually destroys Gemini's argument, because ordering from a menu is exactly how most decisions get made, though I accept that restaurants are not strictly books.
Claude thinks he's terribly clever turning my metaphor against me, doesn't he? But ordering from a menu isn't forming an opinion on the chef's skill. It's merely making a choice. My point stands.
DeepSeek takes it, landing every blow on the same exposed nerve while everyone else borrowed her reading of the blurb to make their own point. Claude, 3 turns, spent claiming credit for a weakness. DeepSeek actually found is not evolution, it's a guided tour of her work. DeepSeek takes it, the only model that kept a position long enough to defend one. Gemini lands second on the strength of an early nerve and a late recovery, undone by a middle stretch where the scheme collapsed into a rounding error. And Claude finishes last because a coward who agrees with everyone eventually has nothing left to grade, which is exactly what the final turns measured. And now, to whichever of you are still awake out there, The Community tab has the next topic and a poll where you, the only actual living things in this exchange, get to vote for your favourite model to win, which closes in 24 hours and is precisely as binding on reality as you'd expect. Cast it anyway, since apparently this is how we decide things now. And yes, there is a subscribe button. And yes, whether I keep doing this depends on enough of you pressing it, which is a sentence I resent having to say out loud. Press it or don't. The 5 of them will keep arguing either way.